Why should you watch The King, 2019, with Timothée Chalamet and Robert Pattinson? The film's plot is about medieval 15th century England in the midst of the Hundred Years' War between England and France. In the early 15th century, Prince Hal of Wales leads a promiscuous life with his mate Falstaff and has no thought of claiming the throne. But when his father, King Henry IV, dies of illness and his younger brother is killed on the battlefield, Hal is forced to accept the crown. Becoming Henry V, the young ruler deftly deals with conspiracies and rebellions, and decides that the French monarchs do not show him the respect he deserves, and goes on a campaign to France. I am convinced that this movie is worthy of the viewer's attention for a number of reasons. The film is great, at least from a staging standpoint. If you like the setting of the Middle Ages, the whole atmosphere of this period, the knightly battles, the battles of armies, definitely this movie is for you. The King is a very beautiful movie. The forests of Great Britain and Hungary blend so seamlessly into the overall atmosphere of the film that at times you want to press the stop button and admire another shot of nature. The work in terms of scenery, costumes, makeup is perfectly organized here, so you believe the picture. Special attention should be paid to the staging of the battles. There aren't many of them, but each one is technically flawless with a good level of realism, like in The Battle of the Bastards, from episode 9 of the 6th season of Game of Thrones. The cherry on the cake of this movie is the cast. It features, among others, Timothée Chalamet, Robert Pattinson, and, attention, Lily Rose Depp, Johnny Depp's daughter. Very much like her father, by the way. Many have criticized the acting of Timothée Chalamet. Personally, I treat this issue with caution, since this is the actor's second role in a serious film after Interstellar. But while the weakness of Timothée Chalamet's acting is a matter of debate and subjective, Robert Pattinson's brilliant performance in the film is not in doubt. He has very little screen time, but he literally captivates the viewer with his performance. Since he is the Prince of the French in the plot, his speech is quite convincing in the original, and combined with the beautiful French language sounds great. The downside is that he literally understates the role of Timothée Chalamet with his charisma. Lily Rose Depp has very little screen time in this movie, so I can't explain anything about her acting, but her brief appearance is enough to understand that her character has a very tough character. This film, however, also has its disadvantages. In particular, the plot is very banal and simple, but it is not possible to call it an unambiguous minus, because the film does take its plot from history. I personally do not like the other point, namely the script and the dramaturgy in general. The hero, as far as I am concerned, does not go through the usual arc of development. He is cool from the beginning to the end, which in my opinion is unacceptable. In addition to all of the above, I would like to highlight one other detail from the film separately. Many people criticize the film for the fact that the dialogues here are too Shakespearean, and there is a lot of pathos. In response to such criticism, I want to ask a question. What do you want from a film, the plot of which is actually based on William Shakespeare's historical chronicles about Henry V? And besides, the Shakespearean dialogues romanticize the picture, make it more artistic, help you better absorb the atmosphere of the film and the period of the Middle Ages in general. And the excessive amount of pathos I'm inclined to deduce as a plus in the film. It is thanks to the pathos, speculative and beautiful dialogues that the viewer really enjoys the picture, often idealizing the historical period in question. Thus the following conclusions can be made. A. The film is well staged from a technical point of view. B. There is a good cast and a generally good level of acting. C. The soundtracks are brilliant and inspiring. Conclusion. Definitely a recommendation to watch, especially if you appreciate the setting of the Middle Ages,